What up, YouTube? What up, Facebook? How you doing today? I'm actually trying to get some laundry done. It's been a long day. Been a long week. Normally don't do this. I give credit where credit is due. This is not my topic right now, but I give credit is due. Corey Bush. Corey Bush, people want to call it theatrics. But if it got the job done, it got the job done. Now I got bigger fish to fry, but if the so-called fraud squad could give us another month or two and a rent delay, a rent pause, whether it's a month, 2 weeks, is still better than people getting thrown out. Now, what they need to do is muscle their so-called leverage and get bigger fish to fry. There should not even be. There should be debt cancellation for rent. Thank you for joining. This is your boy Bobby, Bob TV. Thank you for joining. I just want to get something off my chest. Uh, I got a lot of things I want to talk about, but I'm saving for this weekend. Uh, I mean, we got our reason to hate the fraud squad. I don't trust nobody. I don't trust none of these politicians. They got to build trust with me. And for people who get mad because I don't trust these fools, man, go ahead with that stuff. Give them a chance. You're getting on your own best chance, best chance, best chance. You put them there to be the best chance, and when they have the best chance to do something, they drop the ball. So how are they the best chance for us to get something done? I mean, anybody could be the best chance of something, but never really take advantage of the chance. Especially when they got a chance to take advantage of the chance at the best opportunity. So I'm always of the order. You put people in position to do something, and you expect them to do it. You go to work, you apply for a job, you go for work, they tell you what you're going to do. They expect you to do it in order to take the job. And if you take the job, guess what? They expect you to do the job. If you don't do the job, you'll get a couple warnings. After that, they fire you. And sometimes the warnings not so nice. The boss may chew you out, call you in the office and chew you out. He may call you in the office and he may chew you out in front of everybody else just to let them know this is not how you're supposed to be acting. And if you act like this, like if you act like Rob to act, you're gonna get fired like I'm about to fire Rob. Rob, you're fired. Why? Because I hired you to do a job and you keep playing around. You keep playing around, you keep playing around. I expect you to do the job I hired you to do, and you did not do it. I talked to you one time nice. Second time, I called you in the office, talked to you nice. Third time, I put you on a suspension without pay. Fourth time, you're out of here. Now, if that person continued to do nothing, don't do their job, and don't do their job, what do you expect you to do? To keep talking to them nicely? No, you chew their behind out. You get on their behind. I ain't never seen a boss. Well, they do it. Some of them do it, but they do it passive aggressively. But most bosses will chew you out, ask you to come to office, and they'll chew you out so loud, everybody else still here. And I'm like, bro, you could have left the door open. You might well just chew me out in front of everybody. So, right on you if you put people in office and you are on their behind. Stay on their behind. Get on their neck. I don't believe we should. Oh, just give them a chance. Be nice. Blah blah blah. No, I put you in office, especially when I campaign to put a lot of my energy and my money in it, and I'm not getting any value out of that. When you have an opportunity to get something done, you won't do it. Well, it's not strategically possible. I don't care about strategically possible. Get your head out your behind. We ask you to do something, you need to do it. It wasn't strategically possible for me to vote for your behind anyway, but I did it. Not me. Not me. But some people vote for these people anyway. But this is not what I'm talking about. This is not the point of my talk. The point of my talk is about New York. When the Democrats become more fascist than Donald Trump, more fascist than the Republican. I just saw David Doyle. I mean, I don't like calling people out, but he puts up here our Republican uh, something about get get sick, blah 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 blah. Bruh, stop making this about Republicans. It's a lot of Democrats not taking a vaccine either. This ain't about Republican or Democrats. Folks don't trust the vaccine. And rightfully so. You pulled it out of your back of your behind. How in the heck you going to get a vaccine for COVID and you couldn't even get a can't even get a vaccine for the common cold? You can't get a vaccine for HIV. There's a lot of things you can't even get a vaccine for, but all of a sudden you got this vaccine out of the crack of your behind. Well, it's easier. They came up with better science. Go man, come on. You believe that? And all this is to play into what is true and what is factual. And you need to listen to us because what we say is true and factual. How do I know that? Well, the CDC say, how do I know they're telling the truth? You're making the CDC God? Now, they might shut me down on here. I'm not saying don't listen to the CDC, but you have every reason to have your doubts. And it's up to them to do a campaign to encourage you to get out of here. But right now in New York, they doing some Stalin, some neo-Nazi tactics. We're gonna funnel money into these community organizations to go knock on your freaking door to convince you to get the vaccine. Ask you why. So in other words, you're already monitoring whether I take taking the vaccine or not. So you know who's taking the vaccine and you know who's not taking the vaccine. So now you know who's taking the vaccine. Your target, according to Cuomo, just like he target these women, your target is to go after those who have not taken the vaccine. First thing we need to do is come up with a campaign to scare the crap out of you guys to the point that let me tell you something. One of the best sales tactic is called fear loss. In other words, we'll project something out there so hard that you think that if you don't take advantage of it, you gonna lose. As an identity theft risk management training, I go in and teach cybersecurity and identity theft in different communities, from high schools all the way up to um, the senior homes. Holla at your boy if you want me to come do a free workshop if you're a coordinator. Holla at your boy. I'm getting back in the game because identities are still being stolen. One of the best ways for me to get the point over is scare the freaking crap out of you, especially if I got a product that I'm marketing. I got to scare you so bad that you're going to buy in. And a lot of times those tactics work. Scare you so bad that you're going to buy in. I want you to think that not only are they going to become you with this identity theft, but they're going to fix your credit and they're going to tear it down and leave you stuck with the bill. They're going to mess up your medical file. By the way, all this stuff is true. It does happen. They're going to mess with your medical file. And then when it's time for you to go to the hospital, they may put something in you that you're allergic to or that you know, you're not diabetic, but they're going to shoot you with insulin. By the way, all these things are true. But these fear tactics end up causing a lot of people to sign on the dotted line. And to me, the way the Biden administration is going about with the COVID issue is the fear loss. I'm going to scare you that if you don't do this, you're going to lose your life. And then they're going to pressure the people who vaccinated to pressure the people who's unvaccinated. And if that don't work, we're going to take your tax dollars in New York State and put it into these religious organizations and these coalitions, the Latino coalition, the African coalition, whatever, they're going to put this money, instead of putting the money into uh, the needs of the people, real serious needs. We're going to take $50 million and put it into an effort to get you guys to go out here and knock on the door and convince these people to get a freaking vaccine. Now, mind you, New York State has about 75%, at least one shot. These people actually think they're going to try to get 100%. Dude, 75% is a miracle. Well, we got to get the rest of them because they're going to spread it. You can spread it. You got the vaccine and you can spread it. You can still get the virus. It just won't take you out. At least not now. We don't know what it could do in the next 5 to 10 years. And I've gotten the vaccine. Biggest mistake I made in my life because what I was using was working. I had early treatment I got when I caught COVID back in 2000, March, end of February, early March 2000, when it was just getting big, and people was going to, they were telling people don't go to the hospital unless you're real bad, and it's too late. You got to knock COVID out in the early stages. If you wait till you get to the hospital, nothing's going to help you, and that's how they smeared certain medications that were helping people in the early stage. Is because they gave it to people in late stage, thinking that it's going to erase and cure, fix this situation. You don't. It's too late. This man is paying these organizations, Latino organizations, Black organizations, churches, and everything to come knock on your door to strong arm you into getting the vaccine. Now, what's making it even worse? They're requiring city workers that if either you get the vaccine or you're going to get tested. And let me tell you something, when they test you every week, which they shouldn't have to do, when they stick that thing in your nose, they're going to try to jam it up. They're going to try to make the test so uncomfortable that finally you're going to give in and get the vaccine. Don't do that. Don't let nobody punk you into getting stuff. Let that be your free will choice without pressure. See, that was my free will choice without pressure. I was going to spend time with family member that's a little elderly. And I don't know what I could have been bringing back. I could have had take. I could have been taking the medication to make sure I don't, but that don't mean I don't have the virus. So when I go to somebody who don't know about the medication or was told not to look into the medication because it's anecdotal and all that kind of crap, trust and wait till we get a vaccine. In the meanwhile, you got COVID and you're about halfway dead and you ain't coming back. Now they're forcing these people to take it or lose their job. State employees either gonna get a loser. Now, mind you, a lot of Latinos, a lot of black people ain't buying the vaccine. It may look like we're buying it because I live in an area where I'm starting to see these tents pop up, and I'm starting to see my elderly black brothers and sisters finally caving in to go get the vaccine. I'm like, y'all wasn't getting it before. There was a long line about a few months ago. Now y'all getting it, and you asked them why did you decide to get the vaccine? Because I'm scared of this Delta variant. I said, do you realize they're gonna always come up with saying that they're gonna another one this year? We don't been through so many freaking variants of COVID. They're gonna shut me down. You'll find this video on BitChute. You do realize that they continue to come up with something else. If this Delta variant is not gonna scare you into getting the vaccine, not saying this may not be a Delta variant, but we don't have so many variants that I don't believe these people no more. Well, something wrong with you if you don't believe it. Why is something wrong with me? Maybe something wrong with you because you just believe everything they tell you and you that freaking gullible. But that Delta variant is ravaging the unvaxxed. Any variants will ravage the unvaxxed if they don't take a proper protocol to protect themselves. I recently listened to a video. Shout out to my boy Rick. for sending me this video of the doctors admit, look, there's a difference between eradication and control. You're not going to ever eradicate it. You can control it, but you're never going to eradicate it. Well, I've been telling y'all could have controlled this thing and stop it from getting out of whack if you started treating people early. Once they got it, give it to them. We wouldn't even have to get to the point where we needed a vaccine. But of course, they was going to come up with a vaccine anyway because they need to get that sweet vaccine dollar. And once again, I'm not anti-vax. I got the vaccine. So far, I'm okay. So far. But I was okay when I was taking my quercetin, zinc, and azithromycin, or just the quercetin and zinc. That kept me I was taking 1,000 milligrams of quercetin and brohemian and 50 milligrams of elemental zinc. And I'm in the height of packed up subways, packed up bus, packed up places. It has done me well. And I tell people, think about it, try it. It's done you well. It may do you well, may not, but it done me well. And folks, you can't convince a person. There's a statement: to convince a person above his will is of the same opinion still. You can go out here and try to beat people over the head to get the vaccine. They're not going to buy it. You can probably scare them to get it, and that's when they'll get it. Because some people are gullible and easy to fear. And easy to fear. And rightfully so. This is a virus. There is a virus. It ain't fake. You numbnut conspiracy theorists. It's not a fake virus. It's a real virus. Killed a few of my friends, people who I love the most. It's a real virus. My difference in opinion is, even though the vaccine has been proven to work, the vaccine pretty much can keep you asymptomatic without you dealing with any symptoms. And if you did, you're not going to have symptoms to the point where you're hospitalized. You'll fare well with the vaccine. But yeah, I say at the same time, I understand your fear, because I don't understand what's going to happen in a year, 2 years. I don't know what's in my blood system or what's going to happen. And they want to give me another jab. Man, you go get a jab. You don't get up out my face, because I'm not getting another jab. That's it. Like George Bush say, fool me once. Shame. You can fool me once, but you can't fool me again. I'm not taking no more vaccines. I only did that for my loved ones because I was on that airplane and I don't know what I could be bringing off that airplane to them. And I like to hug and love up on my people, especially my mom. And that's the reason I did it for her. She got vaccinated and everything. Most of my family vaccinated and everything. But again, I understand. I understand if you don't want to get a vaccine. I understand. Secondly, there's stuff out there to treat you, but they're just not going to advertise it. How do I know? Because I was treated with it. I'm going to give y'all an example of the Bible. And I know some of y'all don't believe the Bible. Jesus healed a blind man. Blind man was excited. Went and told everybody. They thought he was lying. Like, yo, you know me. You seen me at this pool for umpteen years. You know I was blind. But you know something? I ain't got to prove nothing to y'all. Because I was blind, but now I can see. I'm the only testimony, and I'm the only person that I need to worry about proving to. So people can sit here and question me on how I got better in COVID. I could tell you. And there's countless of others who got better the same way. And there's countless of hospitals and universities that studied this method and got great results. But they don't want you to know about it. Now, last point. Never been. Never will be. Trump, a fan of Trump, a fan of Biden. I don't like them, especially Ron DeSantis. Now, my loved ones are in Florida. So I have to watch Florida news. And then watching Florida news, the they here I'm getting these alerts that the hospitals are overwhelmed in Florida and they're turning people away. It's not true. It's not true. The hospital spoke. They're not turning people away if they got other issues. A lot of these hospitals are giving people a therapeutic choice, give them an opportunity to try something else other than the vaccine that has been tried on other people and has been proven effective. Well, you need to do some trials. You need to do a trial. Do you know the vaccine is still a trial? Do you know it's not approved by the FDA? Yet these politicians want it approved by the FDA to make the case that this thing is safe and you need to get it because that's the icing on the cake that they could push you to go get it. Again, I'm not telling you don't get vaccine. Do your studies on the vaccine. It does work, but you don't know what's going to happen down the road. You know what's going to happen down the road. So you're getting it at your own risk. Matter of fact, when you go in to get the vaccine, you got to fill out pretty much like a contract. And that contract basically say you get this and something happened to you. You on your own. You can't sue us. None of that. This is on you. You volunteered to be our guinea pig for us to test on. And believe me, we're monitoring, we're watching, and that's the reason why we got these results because we need guinea pigs like you, Robert. One of the biggest mistakes I made in my life. Stop letting the left lie on the right. The right is not always trying to, just like the left is not always trying to, you know, this left right stuff pisses me off. Dealing with COVID right now, Ron DeSantis is doing a decent job. They make you think that Floridians are not getting vaccinated. According to the reports from the hospital system in Florida, over 90% of the elderly has been vaccinated with at least one shot. Over 80% of 50 and over has been vaccinated. So don't let them tell that lie that Ron DeSantis is telling people don't get no vaccine. The doctors talked about their loved ones getting the vaccine. Ron DeSantis talked about, now don't get me wrong, I don't like that guy. He's a bigot. But even bigots can tell the truth. Just like those who you like and that's not bigot, they can lie. Everybody can lie, everybody can tell the truth. The hospitals are still taking in patients, and most of the people that are getting treated are mostly, not all of them, but mostly unvaccinated persons. And yet they're giving them multiple ways of getting treated. They're not trying to cram down somebody's throat that you need to get the vaccine. They're saying that you should look into it, you should consider it. It's the best way to try to control the situation because we're never going to eradicate it, but to control the situation. But there's other methods. There's other methods. So when it comes to COVID, you got to really watch the distribution of it, the campaign of it, and the blatant disregard of other options. Because they got you and everybody else thinking that there's no other option. There's multiple options. You know, I got an African friend here. He's an African doctor, and he practiced in Presbyterian. And he said that look, we deal with these type of viruses all the time. We have no way of getting expensive medicine. Matter of fact, my old village can't get the Moderna and the Pfizer vaccine. It costs too much. How does it cost too much? It's free. No, it's never been free. You paid for it. You paid for it through the COVID package. So you literally gave the pharmaceutical industry money. Well, you didn't per se, but your leadership, your local leadership, your state leadership, literally gave money to the farmers, made them 50 stinking rich, made the investors 50 stinking rich through a bill. So no, it's not free. The taxpayer dollars paid for your treatment. But he said we don't we have to use jungle medication. In other words, we have to use natural stuff to see if it works. And don't you know, there's people who say they use natural stuff and they help them, but nobody's going to listen to them. Nobody's going to talk about that. They don't even want to talk about the current older medications that's helping out with COVID. In this country, they want to lead you directly to a vaccine. And by any means necessary, we got to threaten to fire you, and we got to knock on your doors because $100, the donuts wasn't enough. The ability to win a scholarship is not enough. You know, we want to get your kids, we want to get everybody vaccinated. And to me, just too thirsty. Cuomo got his own issues, and then he's trying to push this, going to people door to door like we're in Nazi Germany, and they're looking for Jews hiding. Now you gotta you gotta bring. They're gonna create an ID called the New York Welcome Back New York Pass, basically a pass that you hand to restaurants to let them know that you've been vaccinated, or if you're going to the concert, or if you're going to. That's no different from putting up a whites only sign or putting a Jewish star on somebody jacket. There's no freaking difference. You're discriminating. You're discriminating against the unvax. I would call it racist, but let me call it medicist. You're a medicist. If somebody haven't been medicated and treated with the vaccine, you're gonna look at them funny. You're gonna pressure them. You're gonna not literally beat on them physically. Some of you might do it anyway if they get too close to you, but you're gonna beat on somebody mentally. You're gonna beat on people with guilt and condemnation and shame, and you're putting other people at risk. And like the lady said in Alabama, you should blame the unvaxxers if people start dying. You can blame you too, the vax, because the vax still can catch the virus and carry the virus and get somebody affected. And they claim the Delta variant is 10 times more effective. Claim. So this new bullying tactic, these Nazi tactics, I don't want to hear nobody talk about Trump being a fascist, and he is a fascist. Trump is a bigot, racist, white supremacist, fascist. But at the same time, y'all sitting up here giving accolades to Kamala Harris and Biden in their efforts to get out this crap. And your local state legislators like Governor Cuomo and Mayor Bill de Blasio, when if Trump would have did that, y'all would have been like, yo, you need to resign. Hey, I'm not taking it. Kamala Harris said if it's coming from the Trump administration, I ain't taking it. I trust Fauci, but if it's coming from the Trump administration, Trump don't create vaccine. You dumb idiot. The president don't create vaccines. Scientists and healthcare organizations create and distribute the vaccine. The president's job is just to come up with a way to get it out to the people. Trump would have filed that up. Biden and Harris is filing it up. Her popularity has dipped to the lowest. Told you she ain't gonna be no president. You run her against Trump again, he gonna win, and you can get out the black vote. He's still gonna win. And they're gonna be shaming you and shaming you about this and shaming you about that. I think it's pathetic. And you come in my face up, you're liable to get smacked or cuss out. And look, I don't want to do nobody like that. But you're not gonna come here and use the strong arm, guilt, condemnation, and shame. As a religious man, a man of faith, if my God doesn't bring guilt, condemnation, and shame, and I know some of you people say God does, well, you obviously haven't really been deeply involved into those things, because I see nothing in this dispensation of grace that calls for a higher power to condemn you. And we can go through a study on that. Go to my Winning with Love channel and we'll talk about that. If my higher power ain't going to bring guilt, condemnation, and shame on me when I do wrong, who in the blue heaven and hell are you to bring guilt and condemnation when I do right by my own physical body? Well, you can't say it's my body no more, because your body can mess other people up. I still can say it's my body. Again, the scientist says you're not going to eradicate it. You only can control it. And how can you control it? By stopping the spread. How do you stop the spread? Vaccination is one to bring the spread down. But there are other ways to bring the spread down. Early treatment, the moment you find out you got the virus, will bring it down. You can control an outburst. I don't even think you can control an outburst of the common cold. You can control venereal disease. Put on a prophylactic. You can control that. But you're not going to get rid of VD. Oh, it's running rampant in the strip club. Now, let me stop. You ain't going to get rid of VD. So you can control stuff, but you're not going to get rid of it. But right now, the left is trying to control this thing. And in an effort to control the vaccine, they got to find some way to control you through fear tactics, through guilt, condemnation, and shame, by employing your faith-based organization, your community-based organizations to be the ambassadors of lightweight or undercover guilt, condemnation, and shame, by walking to your house, asking them if you get the vaccine, have you gotten the vaccine? And if you haven't, you need to get the vaccine because this household may help spread it. That's low-key guilt, condemnation, and shame. And it's it's disgusting. It's disgusting. Now, let me get off here. I got to go get my clothes out the laundromat. you know, I got to get my clothes at the laundromat. But I wanted to get that off my chest because this is pathetic. Andrew Cuomo, I was going to say Andrew Yang, but him too. Andrew Cuomo, anybody, Mayor de Blasio, you ought to be a doggone shame of yourself. Ushering in a new Jim Crow, ushering in new segregation laws medically. Because that's just what it is. This is medical segregation. This is medical Jim Crow laws. And you ought to be ashamed of yourself. I can't go get some food. I got to go to the grocery store. The grocery store is full of people. I got to show a card. Or I can't get service. Folks, my suggestion is you call these politicians out. You call them out on social media. You call them out on Facebook. You call them out wherever you go, because this is pathetic. My lady friend, she works in the healthcare industry, and one of the reasons she got the vaccine is because she kind of figured it was going to go to the point of threatening your job. You work for somebody for 20 something years, or you work for the city or state for almost 20 years, you're about to retire, and they tell you get vaxxed, or we're going to have to let you go. That's a shame. We knew that America is sliding toward dictatorship, sliding toward authoritarian tactics. This vaccine has brought out the worst of us. Not the vaccine, but the virus that brought out the worst of us, because we want to purify this country from the vaccine, and that's never going to happen. And the way we do it is by tactics like this: coming to your house, knocking on your door, making sure that you got vaccinated. And if you're not vaccinated, we're gonna really pour it thin on you. We're gonna pour it thick on you that you need to get vaccinated. And we're gonna pretty much have walk out that door and have you think if somebody die, you can look at yourself for being the culprit. How about look at your governor who killed these ladies, old elderly ladies in old folks home, elderly home, or your governor who refused early medication coming to people, and as a result of that, a lot of people died because they wouldn't let them in the hospital. Anyway, I'm done. I'm done. I just had to get that off my chest. And New York State, supposed to be the liberal haven of the country. Once New York goes, everywhere goes. Well, New York is going authoritarianism. New York has gone to fascism. New York politicians are using dictator tactics. They're knocking on your doors looking for you, like you are wanted by Hitler, and they need to eradicate you and get rid of you. They're doing that. They're employing religious organizations to hunt you down, to bring guilt, condemnation, and shame on you so you can get the vaccine. They're coming up with new tactics to fear you into getting the vaccine. It's not faith. It's not getting you to believe in the vaccine. They're fearing you into the vaccine. I'm done. Let me get out of here. I can't see who up here. Let me see who's up here if I can. Appreciate you guys being on. Uh, brother getting old. So, I'm getting old there, baby. I gotta put on. Granddaddy gotta put on them glasses, young buck. Brother getting a little old here. My legs ain't like it used to be. My legs are fine. I'm just talking like granddad. My legs and my feet and my buttocks. And it ain't like it used to be. you know, Me and Granny don't do our thing like we used to do back in the day. We do something. What's up, Michael Fair? What's up, brother? Dennis Mason, what's up? Uh, Godzilla Megatron, what's up? What's up? What's up? I know they're giving away $100. Biden is giving away $100 and a day off. That's part of the Biden administration too. Knowing that people are facing eviction, next thing they're gonna tell you, if you're still getting that $300 stipend for unemployment, we're gonna stop that, and you're gonna get that. In order for you to get that $300 stipend and another, I guarantee you they're gonna extend unemployment benefits with a caveat. I guarantee you they're gonna extend it with the caveat. They're gonna extend the unemployment benefit, and in order for you to get the benefit and continue to get the $300 extra on the unemployment benefit, you're gonna have to get that vaccine. They know what you like, and they're gonna take it away from you until you get the vaccine. It's just like the pop. Pop buy you all the toys that you like because he figure he can control you by taking them away from you. The very things that you love. Nope. If you don't go in there and clean that kitchen, I'm shutting this computer down. Matter of fact, I'm selling it. Oh, daddy, please don't sell me. Get your butt in there and get in there. And guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna go in there and clean it because you don't want to lose your brand new PlayStation. You don't want to lose your Xbox. You don't want to lose your privilege to stream and go on Twitch and stuff like that because daddy paid the bills, daddy control everything. And that's how it is in the United States. Daddy president, daddy and mama's House and Senate, they control everything. And they give you things with the threat of taking away. Remember, I told you about the takeaway approach. I guarantee you that's going to be their way to really get those numbers up because you got a lot of right wing people who really hard on that virus. They they need that check because they ain't got no job, and I guarantee you they're going to use that. Guarantee. I forgot my top. My top is not on my seltzer water. I hit it real hard and water came out. I guarantee you, my Facebook family, They'll extend the unemployment to the end of the year because now they talking about shutting down and going back to, we now in some areas we're going backwards. Cuomo said one of the places we got to target is the Bronx, and we got to get the black community to believe in this virus because we only got like 60%. We need to get the rest of the 40 vaccinated. Not today, Satan. Not today. And y'all not gonna tell these lies and try to rewrite history on our reasons for not to get it. Oh, the Tuskegee Institute experiment. Stop. Just shut up. Whether you put it in our arms or kept it away from us, it's still wrong. And we shouldn't trust you in those situations. Guarantee you. The things that you've been getting, because a lot of people been enjoying it. Join that look. The union laid me off, because I'm a union activist, 32 PJ, SEIU. So they let a lot of people go. They let some people work at home, and then some people had to go on unemployment. So people was getting that $600 on top of the your regular unemployment. So some people was getting $1,000 a week. I guarantee you, either two things: they're going to add more money to the extension on the unemployment benefit if you get the vaccine, or they're going to take it away. You're going to go right back to just your regular money. If you don't get the vaccine, those who got the vaccine will continue to get the extra. Those who don't will just get the minimum. Anyway, let me get off this. The way they try to control people, they call it control population for a reason. It's not just control how many people be on the earth. They're trying to control how a population act. They're trying to control the image of the alpha male. They're trying to control the image of male society. They're trying to control how people look at black men. That whole speech on the floor with Joe Biden was him trying to paint an image into the minds of society about the black males as super predators. And it worked because a lot of them looked at us that way. Don't let nobody paint nothing in your mind. If it's not wholesome, if it's not beneficial, it's not uplifting, eradicate it. Get out your mind. Anyway, I'm out of here. I love you guys. Peace.